Welcome to an eclipse reading for the Divine Masculine Collective. We're going to check in on the energies for the collective as a whole briefly and also focus on how the Divine Masculine is feeling about Divine Feminine during this very wide open portal. There are some things that are seeping through that we probably aren't supposed to know, and then there's a whole lot of other stuff that is coming through kind of guns blazing. So let's be prepared, yeah? All right. Four of Cups and the Strength card. I think right away there's a part of Divine Masculine that continues to deny this connection or this love or something that's available to them when it comes to us because there is a certain level of intimidation. There is a certain level of maybe even jealousy. There is a petulance coming through. King of Wands. This King of Wands card has been coming up in personals, in collective readings. The Divine Masculine's vision is becoming very, very clear about what's to come, about what's available to them. I think the issue is that they have to be willing to take that torch and they have to be willing to do it's kind of an all or nothing thing, this vision that they're getting. And that might be where taking the torch, taking the cup of love, they understand. They know what this is. Whoever this is, they know what's up. They know there is no halfway with this. And yeah, there's our choice. Yes or no, up or down, high or low. What are you going to choose, Divine Masculine? Are you going to choose the path that leads you to good things and victories and triumphant moments and great joy? Or are you going to pursue the path of sadness for its comforts? Are you going to pursue a path of emptiness, not even realizing that's what you're doing? Or even willingly, in some cases, they have a tendency to do that to themselves. So, okay, all right. I think we understand. This Divine Masculine has a little bit of trouble accepting the good things, and a part of the things that have rubbed them the wrong way about Divine Feminine is the fact that we kind of just stand firm in that. It just seems like it's so easy for us, even though we know it's not. That's just how they seem to see us for some reason. Queen of Pentacles, I think this is the Divine Masculine trying to work through and process what is true and what is not true. I think there is a realization in them that the way they see us has been tainted. In some cases, it's going to be by third parties and, or even just like friends or family or something like that. Some people are going to be against you just to be against you. Some aren't going to like you. Some you've had your interactions with. There's a reason for it. And then again, some it's like not even really about you. It's about their comfort. Sometimes friends don't want to lose their best friend because their best friend drives them everywhere or their best friend pays for everything. Sometimes parents don't want to lose their son or even their daughter or whatever to someone who doesn't match their family. Or maybe they're just weirdos and they just didn't ever think you'd get married. That there's all these weird things that the Divine Masculine has to work through. But there's another side to this that says some of this is just them being really cold-hearted and not seeing you as you are, but seeing you as their brain made you, as their mind kind of made you into this person. So, okay, very interesting. Having to cut through the nonsense to really get to the bottom of it. What do we need to understand about this? The moon. Okay, how crazy is this? This card, when I went to take it out of the box, this card stuck inside the box and like slid down weird. And so I like went to grab it and I saw the moon and I was like, huh. So here it is. I've shuffled, I've blessed, and we're coming in and the moon is back in the exact same position. And I think what this says is there is a lot happening behind the scenes. A lot. There's a reason that everyone in the world, even people who aren't in America, are wondering what's up with this eclipse. Let's do a quick I just need a few cards. I just want to do a quick energy check-in. And then we're going to get a message from Divine Masculine. Woo! Oh my. You saw that, Queen? Okay, well, this is a lot. Seven, 9, 8, 1, 9. So 2, 9, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. Okay, hold on. One more. All right. What energies are coming up from the past at this time? Woo! Temptation, the devil, darkness. This to me says there is one big fight to close out this energy. I was very curious about what would come through in this reading for the collective. One last fight. One last push from darkness to trap you, to keep you stuck, to hold you back. And this is for everybody, honey. This is not just for divine feminine, divine masculine. This is for everyone. And I think this could even be a global collective type thing, but if not, at least just the Twin Flame Collective is facing this. So what I would say to you though is to keep one thing in mind. Some of you will identify with this because you've seen this yourself in your life. Some of you are I don't know what you would call it, like early, what do you call it, like an early bird, and some of you are late bloomers, right? Some of you will notice that you hear about an energy wave like a year after it happens every time. Every time you hear about something and you're watching a reading, you didn't realize you clicked it, it was old, whatever, and it's so on point for you, it's from some reader from a year ago, from a year from that point that you're watching it. And you're like, why is this always happening? Why do I always feel like I'm behind? Even sometimes Mercury retrograde, it'll almost feel like it waited a month for you or something weird, right? Then there's the early birds. Some of you are going to feel like, man, it's almost like deja vu. Now, maybe I'm not experiencing the energy again, but I am seeing them. I'm feeling them, and I know that I already went through that. And then I'm hearing a reader tell me that that's what the collective's about to go through, and I'm like, well, I already did that 2 weeks ago. I am one of those early birds. I don't know why, but I've always had to experience stuff. I think that there are some people who experience it early and some people who experience it late, but I can't quite pin down the exact reason. I feel like I had this happen about 2 months ago, but I do believe that there are going to be some of you who will have this happen in the middle of May. So, if you're experiencing this right now, just understand that past temptations are coming up so that you can be aware that they're always going to come back. There are things that are always going to try to pull you back down or pull you back in. Divine Masculine also has to realize that as well, that it has to be a choice, a decision. You know what? I'm not going to worry about when people come up from my past anymore and take that as a sign to go with it or whatever, because I understand now that it's just a waste of my time and energy. It's just a test. It is temptation. So keep this in mind if you're going through this right now, and do yourself a favor if you can and cut it off. Say no to the temptation. Set the precedence with the temptation or the tempter, the temptress, that if you contact me, you're going to have to put in a lot more work than you used to tempt me. All right. And I believe that this is what Divine Masculine is being encouraged to do as well. All right, so we have devil energy or temptation. Things from our past kind of coming up. What is happening in the present that is the most challenging for all of us? Something I think that none of us have dealt with before. The Two of Wands. This is really a chance for us to show ourselves, I am this person that I believe myself to be. I really am. And oh, again, as I'm saying these things, I'm getting this weird feeling in the back of my mind, like in the back of my head, like, yeah, you know what? That's exactly what happened when that temptation came about for me a couple months ago and I was tested with this. I didn't really think about it that way, but that's exactly what it was. Is it was like, hey, you know, you say that you're this person, that you've grown, that you're different. Well, what if you are given an opportunity to go backwards, to regress, or to behave in a way that isn't what you've been working on? What would happen? And I think that many of us are coming out stronger than ever and really getting that confirmation for ourselves that we are exactly who we think we are. Even though some days maybe we haven't had a chance yet to prove it, some days we haven't seen the other side of it come to fruition, so we're kind of like, "Oh, maybe it's just in my head." It's like, no, there's been things that have come up to say you are exactly who you need to be in this moment. And when the time came to be tested, you prevailed. Now, what is it that we need to be holding on? Kind of, I get like Seven of Wands, fight the battle type vibes for the future. What is it that we need to be doing? Oh, and the Strength card comes back up. And this is interesting because the energy that I got from this, there was a little bit of jealousy. There was a little bit of fear, intimidation. To me, this says there are going to be a lot of people who are overwhelmed by everything that's happening right now. They're confused, they're worried. Again, if every different group out there is talking about the significance of this eclipse and that something's going to happen, something's going to go down, imagine how it feels to sit in that and wonder. Imagine how it feels to have some sort of awareness that that day is your day, that that day is tied to your life somehow, but not really understand what you're supposed to do about it. So there's a large group. Again, I really do get this like global collective vibration from this, that they are looking at what's ahead of them and they're wondering if they should just give up. They're wondering if maybe they need to stop getting their hopes up. There's this feeling coming back even from about 3.5 years ago that said, hey, life is always going to push you down, so why bother? And there were many people who gave into that lie. Okay, I'm going to tell you one last thing here. I saw this vision of a chasm, like a low ground and a high ground, right? Where the world was shaking and the way that everything was rubbing, the ground rubbing against itself, one ground went down and one ground went up. And I feel that many of us have been on this higher ground already, but we're being called even higher. And this time we're going to say, I have no way to get any higher, divine. I can't get to you, God. I don't know where to go. And at that point, when we finally admit it and surrender, like, man, I've gone as high as I can without, further assistance, then I believe that is when the ground is going to split. And I believe that that is going to happen in the next 24 hours. And I'm really, really excited about it. I wanted to tell you, if you haven't already looked at this, there was a new, okay, and forgive me because I'm not a scientist, so I'm intrigued by things, but sometimes to me to be able to explain it is very challenging. There is a new imagery, a new imaging of a black hole, I believe. And if it's not a black hole, it's something related to that kind of stuff. Um, but I do believe it's like a picture of the magnetic field of a black hole or something like that. And basically, the reason I'm telling you this is it looks like an infinity symbol kind of being sucked into itself constantly. And y'all, I cannot shake it. Ever since I saw that, they just discovered it. These are things that they're, for the first time ever, they're able to see this image. And I am thinking, you guys, what are the odds that as we get closer to this April 8th, which I think is a massive portal opening, that scientists are discovering things that they have not been able to see at such rapid rates? Because it's like there's stuff that's just being illuminated, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on, right? Okay, so let's get some cards here. Whoa. That was fast. Let's see what Divine Masculine wants to reveal. That's too many. I'll take you back. All right. And I do just want to kind of put a couple runes. down. All right. Okay. All right. So overall, what is Divine Masculine trying to say here? What are they dealing with? Queen of Wands. I would say that based on what is coming through for the collective, that this is the more standard view of karmic third party, some sort of negative feminine energy in their life that has worked to keep them stuck and keep them in the comfort zone, in the familiar. Okay. This is someone who has a very strong energy that the divine masculine may, I can't tell if they're just giving into this energy or not, but this is something that they've been dealing with, and this is really at the forefront of their mind at this time. This is interesting because I wanted to ask questions about how they feel about divine feminine, and I find it interesting that the energy that they've been dealing with is of this karmic temptress type vibe. It makes me think that that feeling that I've had in the past where many divine masculines need that karmic energy in order to be able to see the divine feminine for who they really are. This is the vibe I get from this energy. Like the more I see you, the more I realize what I'm missing from my real life, from my real person, from like what I most deeply desire. Okay, what are we missing about this? This karmic energy. What do we not understand? The Hierophant. This divine masculine, I would say, does not necessarily look at this person, at least not originally, like not in the beginning. They did not look at this person and think, "Oh yeah, they're terrible." I feel like you might be like, "Well, Doug, Grace, if they're gonna get with them or trust them, then why would they think that?" But my point is like the way that the divine masculine views feminine energy, at least this particular one, it has always been kind of I don't want it kind of seems kind of stupid, to be honest. It's kind of like backwards and twisted and confusing. It doesn't really make a lot of sense the way that the box that they tend to put feminine energies in. So when this person comes in, I think this person actually fits the mold. So what I would say to you is, what does your divine masculine, what have they ever accused you of? What have they ever said, oh, some would probably have said like all women are like this, right? What have they said to you and they've kind of lumped you in? Because I remember there's been some things in the past that Mr. Lightwork has said. I mean, this would have been years ago now, but I just remember thinking like, damn, like I don't think I'm anything like any of your exes. But at certain points, he would say, "Oh yeah, all women are the same. Da 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 da. They all do this." And I'm thinking, first of all, I'm not even doing that now. But the fact that there are certain points where like you can't even see what I'm doing right in front of you just because you have this really twisted view. I couldn't tell if it was trauma, if it was learned. I couldn't tell what it was, but I think that it was a mixture of all the just worst potential relationship experiences giving a person a really fucked up belief. Just bad. And that seemed to be what has turned this person to stone. Now, this is very interesting because for the past 2 weeks, I have said a few things that I haven't said in a while. And one of the things that I remember mentioning, I can't remember if it was public or not, was I mentioned Medusa. I think that was a public reading. But in another one, I mentioned that I used to talk about the Three of Swords being and I would talk about like King Arthur and having to remove the sword from the stone and talking about healing and all this different stuff. And I think I mentioned it in someone's personal reading. And then Mr. Lightwork had something on the TV the other day. I went downstairs and y'all, they were talking about the heart of stone and the sword in the stone and there was even like people had swords like I think it was like a reality show or something, but they had happened to be, it was in like an old mansion or something, and they had actual swords. It was so weird. And I don't know why, but I just have a feeling here that the divine masculines have been, at least in this group, have been dealing with these very tempting energies, and there's been a lot that they've put up with because they have been hardened. They have become, I don't want to just say bitter because I don't think that's it, but I think it goes beyond that. They have become cold and unyielding, and I think that's even where that Queen of Pentacles came up. Wow. And I just realized we've got Queen and we've got Queen. We have the Strength card repeating. All right. If you are still here, please do like this video. Thank you so much for joining us. You don't have to rewind back too far. I did a giveaway at the beginning of this reading, okay? And since I'm probably gonna, this comes kind of, I can't tell what's happening here, if this is a love letter or not. But if you're interested in working with me, my website is thefierygrace.com. I am booking for this week. I took calls pretty much almost every day last week to make sure that we didn't have an overflow in this week. So if you need to talk this week, I know it's going to be a tough Monday for a lot of people. I know many of you are struggling right now. If you didn't hear me say it already, I think it's worth repeating. Do you understand that there's a reason why twin flames are taking this energy so poorly in some cases? Not every twin flame's having a bad time, all right? But a lot of twin flames are, and they can't understand why everyone is telling them that everything is going to be great and that this is such a wonderful change. And even Grace is saying things like are going to get better. I don't understand. I don't feel good. What's wrong with me? What's wrong? Well, imagine that there is a beautiful white light that goes around, goes all around the whole entire world, and everybody can see it. And everyone is so excited, and all the families are hugging, and the husbands and the wives, right? Whatever. Everybody's hugging, everybody's happy. And you go and you turn to hug your person, but they're not there because you're in separation. That is essentially what has happened. You are having one of those moments that only a twin flame could understand, a twin flame in separation specifically, where just like you may always experience those moments of wishing that you and your person were together for the special times, you are experiencing a life-changing energy shift. And if they're not with you, both you and them, it's not just divine feminines who are going to experience this. There's going to be a collective sadness that sweeps across all of us at the peak hour or peak, time of the eclipse. Now, some of you are going to be okay through that because you've grounded your energies, you've done specific work, because not just doing the work might not have helped set you up for this, but there is specific things you could have done that could make you have some coping strategies that get you through this, right? But most of you are going to feel and have been feeling it, and you can't explain it away. You can't tell anybody this because they're not going to get it. But I hope that that helps because no one else seems to have been talking about it. And I just want to make sure you are okay. All right. So now, knowing these things, knowing the divine masculine has been processing the truth about you and the way that they used to see you versus the way that they see you now because of this karmic situation and what they've been dealing with. And again, if I think I said it already, but if I didn't, can you please like this video? I haven't been asking lately because I figured that people kind of know the deal, but I realized that when I ask, that people remember, and I think it's like people forget. So please do like this video. It's very important that this gets out. Okay, divine masculine. How do you feel? Things are going so slow and yet so fast. The things in my control don't seem to be moving. They seem to have stalled out. But everything around me is completely out of my control. I feel like I'm alone in the middle of all of this. Like there's something that I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm going in circles whenever I try to move. And when I stand still, the darkness tries to take me over. This isn't where I wanted to be. Not right now. I thought I would be further along. And I thought I would have more control. I thought I got the choice of where I went next. But I'm finding that I haven't really had a lot of options for a long time. Jeez. And in the midst of all of this, I feel like I'm being tempted. Everything I do, everything I say, in every part of my life, I'm being pushed to go what I see as the wrong direction. What I see as repeating an old cycle, doing the same old thing. And that isn't what I want. I just don't know any other way. I've never experienced anything like this. I feel like I'm in 3 different movies at once, and they've laid the film on top of each other, and I can't figure out which layer what is coming from, and I'm just jumbled in this mass of energies, and I want to start over. I want to just see if there's any chance that taking everything back to the beginning might give me some clarity. Mainly trying to figure out, how did I get here? How did I get from your purity and your love and just the way you make me feel in general? Like, how did I get from that to this? To where I feel like I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. It took me that long to realize who you were. So I can see where maybe it's my fault. I mean, but I just wish that I could have an answer instead of being so quick to find blame. I'm starting to realize that beating myself up has done nothing for me but make things worse. And there's so much that I still don't have answers to, because all I can do is focus on how bad I messed up. But I feel like I missed out on the opportunity to just exist in that freshness and that purity because of the choices that I made. And I question what I really deserve. When I think about you, it's like everything else just melts away and all I see is go there, go there. Like, it's so clear. But, oh man. I made some commitments that I shouldn't have made. I did some things that I'm not proud of. I'm honestly kind of embarrassed and ashamed to say that these were the things I thought were the best moves at the time. And when I did them, it's starting to dawn on me at this point that there are things that people will watch me do and they will know that it's wrong and that it's bad and that I shouldn't do it, and or that it's dangerous even for me, that that's going to hurt me or ruin my life, and they will just let me do it. It only just became clear that that's not blind loyalty and support. That's sabotage. If I knew someone was about to walk onto a minefield, I wouldn't just let them and say, good for you. I'm glad you're following your dreams. Like I'm starting to get really upset realizing that there are people out there who say that they have my back, but they don't. But if I walk away from them, I'm the bad guy. How am I supposed to live? How am I supposed to do this? Every time I try to get away, I feel like I'm guilted right back in. And it's not real happiness that I go back to. It's just enough to keep me going. And when I think about you, I don't feel that way. I've never thought about you as trying to trick me. Not just for the sake of tricking me or trying to appease me. I don't know, I can't. I hate to be manipulated, and I hate to think that you would ever do anything to manipulate me. And then again, if I know that I'm going to be manipulated by bad people or just people anyways, and then I actually think about it, if I've put you in a position where you felt forced to manipulate me to do the right thing, then I'm the a-hole. But that's not the manipulation I get from these people. It's not to make me better. It's not to encourage me to go the right direction. It's to get something out of me or to watch me do something stupid so they can be entertained. And when I sit and think about the heart of all of this, all my problems come from my stupid choices. And I don't make these choices in a vacuum. I'm actually really vocal and I share things with these people, and I feel I'm starting to feel like maybe somebody might have something against me. And that it's not just they're letting me have my freedom and they're letting me do my thing, that maybe they're really trying to hurt me. They're really trying to keep me stuck. And I can't figure out why. But I know. And you would never do that to me. You've never done that to me. When I needed help, you gave me some of the best advice. When you saw me about to make a mistake, even when you knew that it was going to hurt you, you called me out. And I still got mad, and I still didn't see you for who you were, and you knew it was going to happen, and you did it anyways. It's like, I don't think I'm used to people like you. I don't think I understand how people like you think, how people like you work. I don't think I've ever experienced anything like this. And the more I think about it, the more I realize I put myself here. I got myself stuck. I lied to myself. I pushed away the one person who really meant well for me I can't stop thinking about you. I can't stop thinking about how if we were together right now, you'd know all the answers. If you knew this whole story from front to back, you'd have it figured out in an instant. And you would make me feel so good and so comforted that even if you didn't know what to do, I would still feel okay. The more I get burned here, the more I realize I need safety, I need security, I need love. And for some reason, it's really hard to find that. I feel like I made the plan for way, way out in the distance that one day we could be happy together. And I told myself that by then you would have let go of all your foolish dreams, because that's what I convinced myself, that your idea of us being happy together and in love and having this perfect life, I just told myself you were just being foolish. I mean, I wanted it too, but I wasn't dumb enough to dream the way you dream. That's how I saw it. I thought you were naive, and I thought you were just a dreamer. But I don't think I gave you enough credit. I don't think I gave this connection enough credit. Because I know that with you, I can have more than just that happiness. I could be fulfilled. I could be me, really me. And I could be me with you in a way that you actually appreciate me. And I've never had a relationship like that. A relationship with give and take and sharing and love and one where I felt safe to step into that role and hold myself accountable. I never had that. And I think you're probably the only person on the planet I could ever have that with. you There's something about you. It's like you align so perfectly with everything I am, and I can't quite understand it, but I know it's there. And the more that I sit in this feeling, the more that I realize how special and important you are. But also the more that I realize that there has got to be some reason that I'm only just now figuring this out. There has to be some reason that I told myself that I needed the opposite to be happy. There has to be something that I am missing. Because it's really shameful that I thought that these people, these fake, miserable people, were worth anything in my life. I looked to a future that I didn't deserve, from a path filled with shortcuts and schemes and plots. Like I am so ashamed and embarrassed when I think now about how sure I was that one day this foolish plan was going to work. But I know with everything that I am, it's because there were people surrounding me, promising me, swearing to me that it was the right thing to do. And whether they meant it or they were just completely fucking delusional, I will never, ever go back there. What I want is real. What I want is beyond just feeling good in the moment. I want a passion and an excitement and a security, a familiarity that goes beyond just feeling comfortable, but feeling like everything's going to be okay. See, that I don't get that with the life I live now. The people in my life now, I don't understand that feeling. I never really thought it existed. But there's something in me that just knows I could have that with you. In the past, I went around in circles. I'm not surprised I'm back there again. And lately, I've been doing everything I can to make better choices, but I guess I can't be surprised that all the bad choices that I have continued to make and all the bad choices that I make letting other people pick for me. I mean, obviously at some point that stuff's going to catch up with me, right? But that doesn't mean I give up. Some days I want to. But most days I think about you and I remember. That's why I'm doing all this. Because in the end, there's something about us. Something about us that is more exciting. It's riveting. It's just different. It's real. And I'm pretty scared that I've put myself into the worst possible situation. And normally I would be very fatalistic in this moment. I would. I would have given up. But I have the strangest feeling. The strangest feeling that everything's going to work out. Not because of me, but because of you. And I know that I probably shouldn't trust that. But I like to think that it's not me trusting me, it's me trusting that somebody out there wants you to succeed. Something out there loves you. And you love me. And that love is so big and so strong that even just an accidental little flare of energy my way could probably change my entire life. I know that I don't deserve anything. But I hear this small voice telling me that I'm not that person anymore. And there's something new available. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with the hope that I've never had before. I'm going to go with the parts of me that I didn't even know existed. I'm going to go with that. Because That sounds pretty familiar. That sounds like something you would say. That sounds like something you did say. And if this is what I can feel just thinking about you, if this is what can be revealed just knowing you, then I know being with you, that's going to be soul changing. I'm ready. All right, I'm going to get going. I love you guys.